Hi, I'm Brian Lincoln, Product Manager for the Xerox DocuShare Content Management Platform. We're here today to take a look at how we can easily access the DocuShare repository from the control panel of a multifunction device. We do this using the Eip Connector, a free add-on to DocuShare available from DocuShare.com. Here on the All Services screen of the multifunction device, we can access DocuShare using the DocuShare icon you see right here along the bottom. If I press this, it takes me to my login screen. From here, I can select from any of the networked DocuShare repositories. I select the correct domain, and then I enter the proper username and password. Excuse me. Once I've logged in, it will take me to the home page. I'll have to press the login button. It'll take me to the home page of the Eip Connector. And what we see on the home page is the common 4 top-level collections normally seen in a DocuShare repository. We also see some EIP unique navigation, alphabetical navigation across the top with the tab navigation to enable us to deal with the smaller screen resolution of the Eip device. We also see several buttons along the top which are our available functions. From this view, we have the ability to log out or close the Eip connector. This one here that looks like a house takes us back to our home page. The house with a person in front of it takes you to personal collection, and then the little circle arrow refreshes the display. We'll go ahead and we'll navigate down into a collection. We'll take a look at some of the things we can do. So I navigate down to my initial top-level collection A. You can see that it lists all the documents and the collections within the subfolder. I have a folder set up specifically for this demo. Today I'm at the multifunction device because I've taken some handwritten notes on a presentation handout that I attended and I want to share them with my team. So I'm going to scan my presentation notes into DocuShare. Since they're handwritten, it's the only way to get them into electronic form that allows me to share them with my team effectively with DocuShare. Navigate back down into my Eip collection. Now that we've navigated down to the sub-collection, we could see some new functions available along the top-hand screen unique to collections. Here I have a back arrow that takes me to the previous screen. Here the document with a P in it allows me to print a scanned cover sheet, which enables me to do batch scanning. We'll cover that more in a little bit. And here I have an icon that allows me to add a document via the scan feed mechanism on the multifunction device directly into my selected collection in DocuShare. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. I'm going to start by putting my document into the feed mechanism of the multifunction device. Today I have some presentation notes that I took in a presentation by hand that I need to share with my team. So the only way I can get handwritten notes into DocuShare is to scan them, so that's what we're going to do. I select my document icon here to add a document. It's going to request that I select the type of document. I'm just adding a simple document. If I had any custom types I had configured into DocuShare, those would be available here. Upon selecting Add, it determines which are the required properties for the selected type, and it requires that I index those in here. Here I can add title and a couple other things. I know that my title is required and so is my global string. It also gives me access to keywords. You always have access to that, and so we'll enter a title. These are our presentation notes. So I'm going to quickly add a representative title so people know what these are. And I'll enter a global string, which is just a required property that's set up for demonstration purposes here, not a typical part of a DocuShare system. And we'll click the document icon here again, and the document will be scanned in to the repository. We'll give this a second to finish. Data is being transferred. And you can see, here we are back into my collection, and we see my new document presentation notes there. Let's go ahead and take a look at that presentation notes to see what we can do when we select a document. Here I can see that I see some of the attributes of the document, but I also see a number of new functions available along the top. Again, there's the familiar icon to return to the previous screen. This icon here with the hourglass allows me to view the document. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's go ahead and pull up a preview, and I can see right there my presentation notes with the slides along the left and my notes along the right. I still have my available options up here on the top. So now that I know the document is, I know what to do with. The red X that you see is due to a licensing thing. When you actually get the EIP connector, you can have that red X removed through licensing, but it's something that we see in the default EIP download. Here I have with the plus, I have the ability to add a new version to this document. I could then scan another version into this. It would replace the file that's already been placed into the document. Again, I have the ability to do scan cover sheets, which would allow me to print a scan cover sheet specific for this document to add a new version of this document via scan cover sheet. I could then use that scan cover sheet from a non-multifunction device, just a scanned, or excuse me, a networked scanner that doesn't have this interface to scan things directly into this repository as well. I also have the ability to start a workflow, which I see with the gear icon, and to print from the printer icon. Let's go ahead and start a workflow on this. Now that I've entered this in, I have the ability to send it on a predefined workflow. And what this gives me to is gives me access to my private workflows that I define for myself. So I've set up an EIP routing template, a private one specifically for demonstration purposes. By selecting this, it then tells me to enter the information required for the workflow, so the subject. So under subject, and simply state what I want them to do, which is, oh, hold on a second. Oops, let's go back. Sorry. Please review. Press the workflow icon again, and the workflow has been started. This document will now appear in somebody's inbox asking them to please review the document. Go ahead and take a look at what else we can do. We can do from a scan cover sheet. From that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back to the collection. So we'll press this back button here. It's going to return us back to the collection where we scan the document in. And now I'm going to show you what a scan cover sheet looks like. By pressing this, it'll bring up the view for the scan cover sheet. And what this does is this is a cover sheet that I can put on top of any document, and when it's scanned in via any networked scanner, it'll appear in this collection in DocuShare. And what I can do is I can take this scan cover sheet and I can create multiple copies of it, and in such I can set up batches to scan. I could put an entire batch of documents, each with their own scan cover sheet, into any network scanner, and those documents would appear into this collection in DocuShare. We'll go ahead and print that here just to show you how that works by pressing the print icon. You see that the print job is successfully submitted to the multifunction device. Now comes my scan cover sheet. I can print multiple scan cover sheets. I can create copies of that scan cover sheet directly from the multifunction device, and as such I can create as many copies as I want and set up my batch scanning. And there I now have my scan cover sheet for doing that batch scanning. So that's it for the EIP Connector demo. As you've seen, using the EIP Connector, we can access the DocuShare repository directly from the touch panel of a multifunction device, a Xerox multifunction device. From there, I can scan documents into DocuShare. I can navigate collection hierarchies in search of other documents. I can print those documents. I can index metadata on scanned documents. I can start workflows on documents, and I can also print scan cover sheets for doing batch scanning. What this enables me to do is to take a stack of documents that I need to get into DocuShare, or have a set of work that I need to do in DocuShare, and go directly to my multifunction device and have multiple means of getting that information into DocuShare, and for starting the work processes, the downstream work processes that are required on that content. And I can do all of that without having to access DocuShare from my PC workstation or computer. I can do that all from the multifunction device. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, I'm Brian Lincoln with Xerox DocuShare, and this has been the EIP Connector. Thank you very much.